anger is brewing on the streets of Seoul. These South Koreans are protesting President Yoon Suk-yeol's decision to compensate former labourers forced to work in Japan before and during the war. The move could help improve bilateral ties, but there's a problem. Under Yoon's plan, South Korean companies that received compensation from Japan decades ago will have to fund the payments. While Seoul has also asked Japanese firms to contribute, many South Koreans are angry that their country is being asked to pay for Japan's wartime misconduct.
To rebuild its image, Japan has to compensate the victims of massacres, like my grandfather and other forced laborers.
Japan's responsibility must be the priority. Some victims are still alive, so Japan should be made to act before they die.
This month, the families of about 10 victims accepted the government's plan, but others, including 3 former labourers, rejected it. An estimated 780,000 Koreans were forced to work in Japanese mines and factories during 35 years of colonial rule that ended with Japan's defeat in 1945. Many worked in harsh conditions and were paid a pittance or nothing at all. They worked for firms, such as Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, that are still in business today. Bilateral ties have also been blighted by the comfort women, a euphemism for the tens of thousands of women and girls who were forced to work in frontline brothels. Some have found the courage to talk publicly about their experiences.
This photo was taken when I went to Kawasaki in Japan for the first time, and I walked from Kawasaki Church to Tokyo wearing white clothes as part of a protest.
Lee Yong-soo was in her teens when she was taken to work at a comfort station, a military brothel, on a Japanese warship.
They told me to go to a soldier's room. When I said that I would not go, they told me they would kill me. They tortured me with electric shocks. My body shook so much. I begged them not to kill me.
Lee befriended several Japanese soldiers who secretly helped her, but she returned to Korea traumatized. She did not talk about her experiences for many years. Today, she wants to see proper reconciliation between South Korea and Japan.
I hope this issue will be resolved soon. I think of Japan as our neighbor, not as our enemy.
This museum in South Korea is devoted to the plight of the comfort women. Some say that as many as 200,000 women were forced into sexual slavery, but only 240 Korean victims have been officially recognized.
The victims were forced to have sex with dozens of soldiers every day. But their trauma did not end there. It continued even after they returned to Korea.
Japan says it settled all compensation claims when it normalized relations with South Korea in 1965, and some Japanese politicians have issued apologies. But for many South Koreans, these words ring hollow. They point to Japanese school textbooks that whitewash atrocities committed during Japan's 1910 to 1945 colonial rule, and politicians who honor war criminals at Yasukuni Shrine in Tokyo.
Koreans are very emotional. The Japanese government has already apologized about the comfort women, so we consider the issue closed. But they are still angry and demand more compensation. Even when the Korean government says it will deal with the issue, they get angry and oppose it.
I find it shameful that the Japanese military could do those things in the past. But we will struggle to resolve this if we keep trying to prove who is right and who is wrong.
Successive Japanese governments have rejected claims for official compensation. Some politicians have even denied that the country used forced labourers and made women work in military brothels. But there are signs that both sides are trying to end decades of acrimony and look forward.
Japan feels very threatened by China, and South Korea is in the same position. Faced with a possible China-US conflict and a more powerful China, Japan and South Korea have common interests.
In a sign of thawing ties, Yoon visited Japan in March for the first summit between a South Korean and Japanese leader for 12 years.